everybody, and welcome back to the non-league adventure of BGWFM. If you joined us last time, we had the end of the season. If you joined us last time, we had played our final two games of the season. We managed to get safe after beating Watford in the penultimate game, and as a result they went down. Yeah, so we're in the Premier League for another year. It's now going to be the end of the season review. Right, so we're going to start by looking at the appearances this season. If you exclude the players on loan, although they have done quite well, to be fair to them. Well, yeah, those top two. I might as well go into that actually. Jake Jackson is a midfielder. He's been on loan for 3 seasons now from us. He's improving quite well, to be fair, but it doesn't look like he's going to quite make the grade in the Premier League. He's been at Mansfield this season. Looks like he's had a very good season despite being injured for about 2 months of it. He's ended up with 6 goals and 17 assists, making 42 key passes in his his loan season there. Passing accuracy is 77% possession and 7 player of the matches for Mansfield, which is very, very good. Equally, well, not quite equally as good, but we've got Brett Carroll, who has done quite well as well. 41 appearances, 2 off the bench, 20 goals and 4 assists with 118 key passes. Pass completion of 72% and 6 player of the matches. But the ones that we're on about now, really, what we're really bothered about is the appearances of our, starting Premier League players. So the players that made the most appearances, I'll do the top 5 as per usual. You've got Thompson with 40, the goalkeeper. Danny Kay making 37. Toffolo making 36, as well as Paul McKay, who's been pretty decent for me. Roy Brewer as well, making 39 appearances, 4 off the bench. So top scorers, there's not been many top scorers. Like the last couple of years, there's been like 5 or 6 players that's been in double figures. Not this season. All we've got this season is we've got 2 players. If you exclude Brett Carroll there, we've got Roy Brewer with 21 goals. And Nathan Adu has had a decent first season in Premier League for us, 16 goals for him. Other notable goal scorers have been, Powell. Naby's chipped in with a couple of goals, largely coming off the bench, and Saunders chipped in with 3 as well. But that's a very low return, really, if you think of it in the whole scale of things. Now the assist makers, Andrew Powell leads away once more, but only with 10. Roy Brewer himself got 8. Russell picked up 6 assists. Adua got 5, as so did Joshua Manuel, and he's played half the games. He's been very impressive as well. Key passes, Nathan Adua made 164 key passes. Roy Brewer 148, so the 2 strikers making key passes, which is pretty pleasing to see. You've got Toffolo and Liam Walsh both on 96 key passes over the course of the season, and Thomas Stacey with 82 as well. Obviously, as you can see, Brett Carroll making 118. Pass completion, yes, Glenn leads away, but he's only played 4 games, so not going to count that. But otherwise, our goalkeeper's the best passer in the team by all accounts. 79% possession, no, 79% passing accuracy. That is followed by the shot, surprisingly. He's got 11 passing, 13 vision. When he's come in for the 10 games or so that he's featured, he's done quite well. 78% passing accuracy, which is very pleasing. Toffolo with 78, Martin Smith with 78, and roughly, they're all roughly the same, really, between 77 and 79. Player of the matches then, our 2 loanees are the players of the match, but Andrew Powell has got 4 players of the match, Brewer with 3, Emmanuel since coming in with 2, Thompson with 1, and Villinden, quite a few people on 1, so nothing really too emphatic to write home about. Average ratings, to say that we've been struggling in the Premier League and we've been bottom of the table, well, not bottom of the table, bottom of the table for goals conceded. I don't think we've had that bad a season if you look at the player ratings. Yeah, there's no close to 8s or anything, but you've got Roy Brewer there with 7.39 average rating, which is very good. Adu is 7.33, so they're the 2 strikers that have really performed for us this season. And you've got Andrew Powell who's put in some shifts, 7.27, and despite conceding all those goals, you've got Paul McKay with 7.23 average rating, and Emmanuel, since he's coming in, he's got 7.19. But someone who's been involved a lot more, we'll go to the next person who's Danny Kane, 37 appearances, Got 7.07 average rating, and so was Thompson for that matter as well. And for a goalkeeper to have above a 7, it shows how much he's been tested this season. So not a terrible season. Some players that have not performed so well, like sort of Akil Wright, he's played about 13-14 games, and he's just, I don't know, he's always been a liability. I think mainly because he's not quick enough, and probably not brave enough neither. So into the competitions then, as we are already aware, we finished 14th. FA Cup we finished 4th. It finished up in the 4th round. We got knocked out by Reading. It hasn't been decided. It's between Man U or Chelsea. I've got a feeling it'll be Man U that wins that somehow. The Capital One Cup was won by Arsenal. Right, so the Champions League hasn't yet been decided neither. That's Chelsea versus Bayern. That's a big game. I'll probably fast forward a little bit to get to see what they are at the end. In fact, I'll do it now. It's not going to change anything. I'll quickly show you what's happened in the other divisions afterwards as well. Well, a few little things. It's a record high, obviously it's its first season in the Premier League, so whatever we finish, even if we finish bottom of the league, we'd still had a record high. Hazard claimed the English Football of the Year. Sterling got the Players' Player. Lukaku got the top goal scorer, not surprising, with 31 goals. That kind of puts Brewer to shame, didn't he, when he got 21. Salami got the young players. The English Players Young Player of the Year award. The goal of the season went to Todd Kane. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. Todd Kane got it here, the right hand side. What an effort! What a strike! That's like the best goal you're ever going to see. What's his long shots? 2. 11. And who tries a shot from there? That's a fantastic goal. That's worthy of any goal of the season. Fantastic. Golden Glove winner was David De Gea. Kept 17 clean sheets, so very pleasing for him, I suppose. Manager of the Year went to Mihailovic. I can't really complain because we've been terrible this season. Yeah, a few other things that's happening I'm not entirely sure. McKay has been named in the English overall best 11, which is fantastic. I think, you know, starting 11, we've got substitutes. He's among the substitutes, so maybe he might end up getting into it. There's some players on here that have now retired, like Dan Holman. Let's have a look at some of the former players. We've got Jamie Eaton-Collins, who is at Cambridge United as it stands. What's he been up to? He's been at Exeter, then Accrington, and now he finds himself at Cambridge. So, a bit of a fall from grace when he started off at Norwich. Who else? There's Bobby Mosley kicking about. He's at MK Dons, 28 years of age now. He was the left back when I took over at Eastleigh. So yeah. Riera, he was a player I wanted to keep, but I couldn't afford to keep. He is at Albuquerque. I can't even say Albacete, something like that. A couple of years at Coventry before I went to Mercia. Never commanded a transfer fee. Funny, you should see that he's actually he was at Barcelona as well, which is kind of funny. Josh Murray's still with us. Akil Wright's still with us. Liam Walsh, Hesenthaler. Geraldo, we know about him leaving at the beginning of the season. John Max, what is he up to? He's at Halifax Town. Halifax Town are where? In the Vanarama National League. They look like they finished second. We'll get into the leagues shortly. Joe Partington, he was a favourite of mine when I first joined. He had a massive injury that stopped him from sticking with us, because I would imagine he would have been getting his testimonial had he not been injured in that season. It prompted me to let him go, unfortunately, and he's done alright. Well, he's played games, I suppose, for Darlington recently. He joined Bury first, didn't it? Never made an appearance, which is a shame. Jay Reason is another one that I let go when I first joined. He just wasn't. It was like 30, and I thought, well, he's not going to get any better, and he didn't have crazy stats, so I decided to let him go. Dan Holmer, as I mentioned before, has actually retired, so I can't have a look at his stats. Everyone else we know about. We're already there. End of the season awards. We've got Roy Brewer, got the Fans Player of the Year, by quite a distant margin, to be fair. Goal of the season went to Stephen Kinsella. Let's have a look at that one. That's the loading screen. Seems a bit odd. Can't remember this goal. I'd have thought that's Callum Saunders one would have been better than this, but never mind. Brewer got it here. He played it wide to Kinsella. Kinsella, well, in one sort of motion, like volleyed it in. So I suppose it was a pretty good goal. Signing of the season, of course, was Andrew Powell, even though we've had him like on loan for ages. And then young player this season is Roy Brewer, 24 years old. Worth noting that if anyone's ever wondered, I know I watched a video with a video of Dr. Benji, and he was saying that the 24-year-old got the young player of the year, and he couldn't work out why. It's because the cut-off point for the potential thing is 25. So I think as long as that potential thing's happening, the class as a young player, and it cuts off as soon as they turn 25. So any player under 25 is a young player. Worth noting, I'm no longer untouchable. I've signed another contract for 2 years. I tried extending it for 3 years. I didn't want to know. So, you know, I suppose conceding loads of goals isn't, you know, hasn't helped, should I say. But that was untouchable. It's now only 74%, which is still, you know, a very good place to be. But it's not as good as well. Well, I was 96, I think, at one point. And these are some players we've been linked with in Spain. Well, not linked with, but it's like potential transfer targets. Ivan Rakitic. I mean, he could do a job, I suppose. Roaming playmaker, perhaps. It's not even that good for a roaming playmaker because his pace has dropped off. So it's probably no beneficial factor for signing him. And yeah, he's technically very, very good, but I just can't see his signing him. There's a few other players that we're getting linked with. Not good enough in my opinion. Not good enough at all. Even though he's at Barca, vision's good, passing's not. You know, I'd be wanting a roaming playmaker, and those stats suggest that he's not going to be good enough for this level. So maybe one for the future, but it's probably going to cost quite a bit of our budget. So I'm just going to quickly do this. Pre-season lasts for 5 weeks, and then we'll have a look at trying to sort out some signings. So, right, so this is quite interesting. The board have set initial wage budget for the coming season at £725 a week, £75,000 sorry, a week, and a transfer budget of 58.14 million. Is it wise to give me that sort of money? I could blow it and get a failure in. We'll have to wait and see. But I think I've earned it, if I'm honest with you. Less than 6 million for first season Premier League. I wouldn't even say I spent it all. I've spent well, I had a fairly decent wage budget, about half of that, but I didn't spend it all. But yeah, I think I've earned it. So we'll have to wait and see. It could be an interesting transfer window. And it looks like we've got plans to build a new stadium. I wonder what it's going to be called. It could be called the GWFM Stadium, or otherwise I'm still called GW365 on here for those who are wondering why the hell you call yourself 365 or whatever. Because I changed my name halfway through this save. Yeah, so they're planning to build a new stadium. It's going to cost about 41.5 million, and that's on top of the 50 odd million they're giving us to try and do something. Although this figure will be offset by the 900 grand the club will receive by basically. Yeah, nice one. You're going to knock off not even £1 million off that. It will be completed in 2 years, so that's going to be happening. And we have actually got a stadium sponsorship deal worth 20.68 million, which that's not bad really. Half of the cost has been covered by that. That's impressive. We're also improving the club's training and youth facilities. It's going to cost us shy of £1 million. So that's going to be interesting as well. New setup was still uncategorised after an audit of the existing setup. One of Aston Villa's players, he actually looks very handy. I'll have a look at him, because I think it was Aston Villa indeed that went down. So I might be able to pick up some decent players that get relegated. And obviously because I'm the lead supporter, I get noted on all this. And it looks like Johnny Bate is going. Johnny Bate could get you as a backup. Could sign you. It was just not that consistent. That's the only problem with him. Fairly inconsistent. But yeah, he's a very good player to maybe try and sign. Let's find out who has won the FA Cup and the Champions League, and then we'll look at the leagues. This is the guy I've just scouted. He looks very good actually, to be fair. He's a bit injury prone, fairly susceptible to injuries, but he's deemed better than Walsh and Stacey. So, and he's got a full understanding of the language, and he's deemed a good player for the Premier League. It could be worth a punt. It depends how much they want for him. He's decent at long shots as well. His technique's very good. He's fairly quick as well, so I have a feeling he could probably play it as a partner and not very well. I'm going to say ball winning midfielder, but yeah, he looks very handy. Very good in the passing department. Decisions is fairly good. Is it going to be better than him out there? It's probably going to cost us not that much, about 5 million, so maybe it is an option. We'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look and see what's happening in all the divisions and who's won what. So, as we already know, we know who's finished where in the Premier League. Championship. So it also seems that we've been hit with a tax bill of 4 million quid just shy of, because we've made a lot of profit. Main shirt sellers have been Roy Brewer, Andrew Powell, Russell Russell, Liam Walsh and Adua. No surprise there, they've been probably the best players that we've had. None of our players in the England squad, unfortunately. So we're going to see now who is the Champions League winner. So Chelsea were in the final of the Champions League. Did they win? They haven't played it yet. It's on the 1st for some reason. It was on the 28th, but it's not anymore. Worth noting, they lost the FA Cup final to Man United, a little bit closer than what I thought. 4-3. Not expecting like 2-0 or something like that. Let's go on and find out who wins the Champions League. So yeah, the final of the Champions League was won by Lewandowski and Bayern Munich. Lewandowski must be about 800 now. 35 years old, still looks class. It's loading the highlight again for some reason. Awesome. Mario Götze as well. He's probably equally as old. 31 years old, so he's actually younger than I thought. So yeah, Bayern still looking strong. They've beaten Chelsea in the final. Let's go through and see if any of the leagues have been decided. So we'll be joined next season by QPR, Hull and Palace, as Leeds narrowly missed out. They started off really badly. They sacked the manager, and then he's just gone from strength to strength and got them from like down here to 7th place. At one point they did get to 6th, but they ended up just bottling it at the last second. Swansea and Bournemouth, former Premier League sides from the beginning, that's actually missed out, unfortunately for them. Sunderland obviously getting out of that relegation zone. Peterborough, Birmingham and Blackburn Rovers going down. Exeter staying up along with Fleetwood, remember the team that came up with Eastleigh, staying in the Championship for another season. I'm not going to go into too much detail. It's actually a repeat of the real life playoff final in League One. Barnsley have got Millwall. They're going to join Rotherham and Plymouth going into the Championship. I guess would be Barnsley will win just because they did in real life, and plus not a big fan of Millwall, not because of the fact that I'm a Leeds fan, but just because they have been awful. And it's not all of them, but most of their fans are absolute dicks. They are a disgrace to football. You just think of the things that they've done to stadiums and what have you, and I don't think you've got any argument. Oh, look at this. Peace of mind. Carlisle. They got into League One. Unfortunately, they got relegated, along with Wigan, surprisingly, and Cambridge and Gillingham. So that's a bit disappointing. League 2, our reason why we might have some interest in this is because our affiliate is in this division. They finished 8th, Ebbsfleet. It's not a terrible performance really if you think about it, because actually start off in the Vanarama National League, I think. Obviously they haven't got to the heights that we have. AFC Wimbledon are going up into League 1 along with Leyton Orient and Preston, surprisingly, starting the Championship. Glad to see them going back. I don't mind Preston. I think they're I don't know, I like that club. I just like it's got nothing to do with Simon Grayson being the manager, but in real life I just like Preston. But it's between Gateshead of Vanarama National League to start off with, and I think Mansfield are as well, to be fair. So it's looking like let's have a quick look at that. No, I'm incorrect. They're starting League 2. So Gateshead will be looking to get from the Vanarama National League to probably the highest point, which is in League 1. More for other teams that are down here, you've got Stockport in the Football League, Bood FM. There you are, mate. I'll have a quick look at them. They got promoted last season from the Vanarama National League. It's taken them quite a long time to get out, to be fair, mate. You've done really well to get them out first time of asking. But yeah, now the first season back in the Football League, they finished 19th. I don't know if you know any of these players, probably not. Corey Roberts, I think he was there to start off with. He was on loan for me at Curzon Ashton. But he was on loan from Walsall, so no, he wasn't an original Stockport player. But he's been there for 5 years or so, and looks like he's done alright because he's got promoted with them. Vanarama National League. Other teams that are down here that probably shouldn't be. Besides Preston, you've got Blackpool down there, but that's not really a surprise because they've done it in real life. Scunthorpe going out of the Football League. Now that is a shock. Scunthorpe, obviously they got in as high as the Championship a couple of years ago. Vanarama National League, who's down here? The player final was decided by FC Halifax, so they've gone up. They're joining Oxford United back into the Football League. So Halifax haven't been in the Football League for years. teams that are down here that probably shouldn't be. You could argue Tranmere because they were one-time championship team. Who else is there? Doesn't seem to be anyone of note really that's you know, that starts in a higher division. Let's have a look and see the Vanarama North division. Well, we'll have a look at the South if afterwards, but in fact I'll do it really quick now. Vanarama South first. Right, let's have a look and see who's in here. So Aldershot going into the Vanarama National League along with Oxford City. Other teams that are here, Torquay in the Vanarama National League South. They're a former Football League club, of course. Cheltenham Town, they're another. Just really disappointing seeing these teams down here. You don't expect it. And then finally, we'll look at the Vanarama North for two reasons. There's a one Bolton Wanderers in there, and a team that I left to join Eastleigh. Let's have a gander. Well, they're not in the playoff final anyway. League table, Bolton have won the league. They look like they're on the rise again. They're on their way back up. Having a look, Curzon Ashton, 8th, a respectable 8th. I'd like to say. Let's have a look at Curzon Ashton. See if there's any players. Oh yeah, Charlotte Eula's still there. The players, these are the players that are still there from when I was there. Henry Rowlandson's still there as well. He must have been there some time now. 6 years. Played one season for us. Didn't really do that much. But since then, you know, he's still there. He's playing every game. Any other players that I recognise? Shamal George, still the goalkeeper. Let's get the picked thing. Shamal George, I remember signing him and was very pleased with him. He's not a bad keeper for that level, really. Think about it. Came from Liverpool on a free the season that I ended up leaving because goalkeepers just didn't want to stay. So you've got Henry Rowlandson and Charlotte Eula, who I signed, still there, still doing the job. Yeah, and got quite a lot of goals actually the last couple of years. 2 years ago, what's so prolific, but all the other times. And how did he get 23 goals and end up with a 6.85 rating? I have no idea. Very, very strange indeed. Other players, I've just had a quick look to see if there is, and I've seen one straight away, and that is Freddie Yao. Freddie Yao, he's a player that I signed on a non-contract right early on. 8 years it'd be coming to having a testimonial for him if he stays there. Don't think there's anyone else, but nice to see some faces still there from when I was there. So yeah, that's probably going to be it for this video. So as always, hopefully I've enjoyed this video. If you have, why not press that like button. If you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe, and hopefully join us next season when we've got a 50 million war chest to try and sort out, you know, having it a bit more comfortable maybe. I'm going to say mid-table to start off with. I'm hoping to get some, you know, decent transfers in that are going to significantly improve our team. But until then, I'll see you then. Bye bye.